Hey folks, my name is Jürgen, aka Nerd and Proud of It, and Destiny has brought you to my channel today to talk about whether you should play with your expensive cards or if you should better leave them safely in the binder. It's a beautiful Friday here in the Netherlands, folks, and that means it's time for another end of the week Friday conversation. And as I said, today we're going to talk about if it's worth the risk to play with your expensive cards just to play with them, or if you better at a certain value should not consider playing with those cards anymore. And I got a couple of examples here, as you see. Let's start with the Mox Opal. Double Masters, borderless foil, currently on MTG Goldfish for about $112. I always keep my cards double sleeved, at least the expensive ones, and for me that ensures they won't get dirty, but that ensures some problems. They're more or less sealed airtight. Same goes for the Ugin double sleeved as well. Borderless Magic 21 foil, which is about $60 on MTG Goldfish. I just checked. Mana Crypt, that's the Eternal Masters copy, and that means no fancy schmancy, but that means that it's, according to MTG Goldfish, worth about $195. I made a video about it. I didn't pay that for these cards. I bought them when they came out, and the price was very low, but still, current value is important when it comes to playing with cards. Should we play with these cards? Personally, I always said yes. And I just until recently even played a match, about a year ago. I played a match with my Moxes and my other power cards. And looking at the Emerald here, double sleeved as well, and I played them just in double sleeves. And I was very, very careful. I didn't really shuffle, but I put one card on top of the other on a couple of piles and so on and so on. But yeah, I'm curious. What is the value as from which we shouldn't play with cards anymore, with certain cards? I mean, we got these top loaders here that gives a little extra security. I think I would, next time I will play with my vintage deck, and I will play with the power, and I will play with the more expensive cards. I will put them in the top loader, because that gives a little extra sturdiness. But is that enough? And what's the value? $50? The Empiric Tutor or whatever. $100? Like this Mox Opal. Shouldn't I play it anymore in a Commander deck? $200? The Mana Crypt. A couple of $1,000. Is it not okay to play with a Mox anymore? You see here on in my binder on screen. I'm not sure. I'm a player, and I recognize, and this is more like a personal conversation, I recognize that I have more and more problems playing with my high-end cards, simply because the value has gone up so much. And I'm almost afraid to handle them, and I have some of these I have for almost 30 years, and I handled them in a pretty rough way. My only graded copy of a card, Arabian Nights, very sturdy case, of course, the grading case. Should I just grade my deck, my vintage deck, just one deck, 60 cards, normally 61, I play with 61 cards, and should I just grade it and fuck it, but then I probably, if I grade the high-end cards, I don't know how that works, but I mean, the more valuable the card, the more higher the grading, right? Then I could play with the slabs, which would be interesting as well, but then at least nothing would happen to the card. I was thinking about buying these magnetic cases as well, but I am not sure. I heard from a couple of people that double sleeved cards don't fit in there. Do you have any experience? Because I'm fine with having a stack of 60 of these hard plastic slabs, like the magnetic seal. Put the cards, put the deck in there, and then just easily stack cards on each other instead of normal shuffling, just so it's randomized. And yeah, you can easily draw a card from your deck and then play it and put it out in a magnetic slab. But I'm not sure if that works. For me personally, I don't mind playing with the new cards. I don't mind playing with the Chrome Mox or Mox Opal here, or the Mana Crypt even. I don't care if it's like $200 because it's not reserve list. But when it comes to reserve list, I'm a bit more hesitant. I feel I have the feeling that I'm getting more and more hesitant even. So yeah, because these cards don't come back, and it's not that I can just buy like a new version of a Mox for cheap. I could buy a cheaper version of the Mox Opal. I think the cheapest one at the moment is like $30-40 or something if you buy like a really regular version. I don't know. Folks, let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm very, very curious how you approach that. Do you play with your old cards? Do you have a vintage deck you still play with? How do you protect it? Do you put it in a double sleeve and say, okay, this is fine? Do you put it in top loaders besides the double sleeve? And think that's enough of protection? Do you actually have a different solution? Do you work with proxies for your whole deck and just leave them the cards next to the playing field in a binder, which defies the purpose for me a bit, because I have the cards and I don't have any problem with anybody playing proxies, even if they don't have the card. I mean, if they want to have fun and just play a fun match with me, just play with your proxy Black Lotus. I don't care. But for me personally, I have these cards, so I want to play with them. So it's a bit, it's getting a bit more and more difficult. So yeah. Folks, thanks a lot for joining me this Friday. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I would say, if you want to talk to me, send me a mail. It's nerdandproudofit@hotmail.com. You see it here on the screen as well. And let me know what you think about everything. I'm curious. A lot of you are already mailing me, and I really enjoy that. So always looking for that conversation, and that's very nice. I wish you a very nice weekend, folks. Yeah, I'm gonna rock the dramatic pause from now on. I'm gonna rock it. No, I just was thinking about what I should say. I of course hope you stay frosty and you stay healthy. And I talk to you next time. Thanks for listening, folks. Bye bye.